What's good, Fin Nation? What's good? It's your boy Reason, and we are back here for another one before y'all be diving into those Reese's Peanut Butter Cups, your little Aero bars, whatever you're going to be eating tonight. Before you dive into that, I wanted to get this out for all of y'all, recap this game yesterday. Also, talk about some trade stuff, because it looks like I may have a Patreon update and YouTube channel member update for y'all tonight, because I'm hearing some things. Obviously, I'm going to keep y'all filled in on everything that's happened up until this point, all the rumors, everything like that. So I will have some stuff for y'all tonight. This show will keep y'all updated with the rumors and stuff. Obviously Bradley Chubb and Kareem Hunt making the most noise, but the amount of validity to them. So we'll talk about that kind of stuff. Obviously, we'll go over, the PFF grades and next gen stats, all of that good stuff regarding the game yesterday. We'll even, hey, we've been showing them before. We'll show them again. The efficiency stats charts that we've been posting. We'll take a look at those, especially in the third and fourth quarter. Some interesting numbers. As Tua Tagovailoa continues to cook, I don't know what to tell y'all. He's, hey, anyone who wants to say to you, well, it was against the Lions, will say, well, he put up the most yards of any quarterback this year against the Lions, so where are we at now? And the narrative that these people are trying to spin now is, well, it took them having to get weapons. We talked about it yesterday on the postgame show. Name all the great quarterbacks that have won, they needed weapons. Don't know what else to tell you. People want to out here and take away from a player and basically punish a player for him being properly built around. That's absolutely asinine, all right? Because if these haters had Herbert and Grier was building around them, you wouldn't hear peep. It's just people with agendas, people with narratives. Instead of admitting they were wrong, they're either backpedaling or doubling down. And it's hilarious to me. I'll tell you this much. You go on these social media platforms, you see self-Floridian journalists who used to trash Tua last year now posting his stats, hoping to get clicks. You see people who were out on Tua last year, now they're claiming Tua as their quarterback. It's just, it's so funny to me. It's just nothing but a loud group of people backpedaling, and I can just hear it all. So, listen, if you go back, I know I clipped up and posted like a 10-minute reaction video of all my reactions from yesterday, but if you go back, when we were down 14-0, this guy wasn't panicking. I was not worried. I was not stressing out. And I kept telling people, and I was even calling people Chicken Little for panicking and saying the world's falling, the world's falling. So, listen, after what this team did yesterday and what they did against the Ravens, don't count this team out. That's all I'm going to say. Don't count this team out. They're never out of a game. With this high-powered offense, we always are in a game. Things can turn in the blink of an eye in the NFL. So, listen, all these people wanting to, have these anxiety fits and stress themselves out, you go live in that life. That's fine. That's fine with me. But I ain't living in that. So, and you see the energy vampires already out on a Monday after we win, trying to suck the energy out of a win, and yet they call themselves fans. You go figure it out. I thought about being a fan. The most important thing as a fan was watching your team win. Am I missing something? Tell me, am I missing something? I don't know. Because I know that's the most important thing when you're a player. So, I just, I'm not down to get into those little circle jerks of negativity. I'm good. Y'all can keep that for yourself, all right? And the worst part about it is a lot of people that are, behind this they understand the football at like the most remedial level of it all. So and even saying they understand it at a remedial level is a stretch. So so I just sit back, I laugh. I ain't got time for this, man. Hey, all Tua is proving that even if it takes a little bit of time, most of the time reason ends up being right with this shit. That's all I gotta say. Hey, people were doing their premature victory laps. And if you go back to 2019, when people were first introduced to reason on YouTube, I said, with quarterbacks, you give them 3 years. By the end of year 3, you know what that player's ceiling is. And I'm looking around right now. All I got to say is thank God I held firm to the film. Thank God I held firm to the developmental and the proper evaluation process. See, all these other people saying, my evaluation this, my evaluation this. Well, I'm going to tell you something. None of these people have evaluations. Has anyone out, besides me, and this is an honest general question. Besides me, name the people in this community that come draft season that give you guys legitimate scouting reports. Self-written scouting reports. No one. No one. They all read stuff. And then they come to their conclusions. I'm the only one, just like, hey, every year, I'm the only one that's showing you from the big schools to the small schools. When I tell you all about a prospect and they make my rankings list, I got all 22 to back it up. I'm the only one who does that. So, listen, I'm not even going to take a victory lap yet on my Tua evaluation because at the end of the day, my evaluation is right because Tua has proven he's far more than a competent option at the quarterback position in the NFL. So, check mark. That was right. Told y'all Austin Jackson wasn't a good fit in what we were running, that power gap scheme. When we got McDaniel, I told y'all, he fits. Yeah, he got hurt out in week 2, but from what we saw, check mark. Noah Benogany, told y'all what he was from day 1. Hope people aren't still living on that interception. Check mark. Jalen Phillips, check mark. So, the only thing I'm going to tell y'all, stop listening to people who don't know what they're talking about. Stop listening to people who don't truly know how to evaluate the game of football and players themselves. Because all that's going to do is get you worked up, and that's going to misguide you and misinform you. And in the end, that could affect your way of thinking, your positioning, your stances, and your takes. Don't know what to tell you. All right? Like I said before, listen to whoever you choose, but you come over here and you're going to hear the truth. All right? That's it. Period. So, anyways, smash that like button. Already 200 of you in the room. Smash that like button. I don't know what to say, man. Tua balling right now. And listen, I hear people already trying to set up the narrative. Well, they got to light up the Chicago Bears. Do they? Now, I know they just traded Roquan Smith not too long ago to the Baltimore Ravens, and they traded Robert Quinn as well. But over the course of the past couple weeks, the Bears are playing better football than what we had seen, specifically Justin Fields. Now, Justin Fields is nowhere near ready right now, but he's playing a lot better than he did to start off this season. That's just what it is. So, I'm just looking here right now. Just pull this up. Get my notes in front of me. All right. Now, again, it's a team where they give up, I think they're, just according to my notes, they're 13th in terms of giving up yards as a defense. They're 5th against the pass as a defense. Their weakness like the Lions, was the run game. The Lions were, I believe, 30th, 32nd against the run, 32nd against the run, and the Bears are 31st. So it's the same thing where you've got the option to run the football, but let's be honest, we're probably going to drop back like 30 times, 35 times and throw the football. It's probably what's going to end up happening. Unless Mostert gets it going early. But even then, I mean, you look at they were 22nd against the pass, the Detroit Lions, going into yesterday, and they were, again, 32nd or 30th against the run. Well, I think it was 32nd, actually. 32nd against the run, 22nd against the pass, and we ended up throwing 36, 37 times. I mean, again, when the ball does not hit the ground, the passing game ends up becoming an extension of the run. And the game flow just keep going. I mean, look at the time of possession yesterday. Over 32 minutes for the Miami Dolphins. Absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. So, yeah. Listen, this is a decent defense. It's a better defense than what we just saw. Let's put it that way. Are they great? No, but they're decent. They're good. It's just a matter of, again, don't play down to the competition. That's what our offense didn't do this week. They didn't play down to the competition. So, and, they still give up points. They still give up points. I mean, you go look at the teams they face so far, and the Bears, I mean, hey, we're going to see what they're made of in 2 weeks against the Lions and us. But, I mean, they give up 49 to the Cowboys, 33 to the Patriots, 29 to the Vikings. They give up points, right? 23 to the Texans, 27 to the Packers. That's how the Packers got back on track after that week 1 loss to the Vikings was against them, if I remember correctly. So they give up points. We'll be able to put points on the board. And again, I look at their secondary. I just don't see who's putting up with our speed right now. I mean, this team, after Sunday Night Football yesterday, the Browns still have to play tonight. But as of right now, Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle have accounted for more yardage than 9 NFL teams right now. Like, that's absolutely ridiculous. That's next level production. I mean, good God almighty. If you remember in the preseason and the offseason, I was, flirting with the fact that, they could put up 2,500 between the two of them. I mean, man, now is 3,000 between? Is that possible between the two of them? Good God almighty. You might have the first 2,000 yards. He's on pace. Right now, Tyreek Hill is on pace for over 2,000 yards. You might have the first 2,000 and 1,500 yard receiving duo in NFL history between him and Waddle. I mean, these guys are on pace for ridiculous numbers, guys. Like, this is something we have not seen before, and Tua's right at the helm of it. And people were worried, Tyreek's play is going to dip. Da-da-da-da-da. We heard it all, man. We heard it all. And it's gone from it's going to dip to the reality is we're looking at historic numbers. Tyreek Hill don't look so stupid for calling Tua the most accurate quarterback in the NFL anymore, does he? The guy had an 80% completion percentage yesterday. Just saying. People aren't questioning him anymore. Real quiet. Tyreek's on pace for 147 catches and 2,042 yards. And the 147 catches wouldn't even be the most in NFL history. That would be the second most. That wouldn't even be the most. I'm just saying. Whew. He didn't do that with Patty. And that ain't no knock on Patty. Patty's the best natural thrower of the football to come in the NFL since Aaron Rodgers. And Aaron Rodgers since Marino. But, I mean, we want to go Marino? Only one quarterback in Dolphins history has a 350-plus passing yards, 3 passing touchdowns, and 0 interceptions while completing at least 80% of his passes in a single game. And it ain't Dan Marino, it's Tua Tagovailoa. What else does this kid need to do? He is a franchise quarterback. Don't know what to tell you. In this system, with this team, with these players, Tua Tagovailoa, in the context of this current situation in Miami, is the franchise quarterback. Period. Don't know what to tell you. And he's only going to get better. And the whole, well, it took weapons. Montana had Rice. Young had Terrell Owens. Brady didn't start putting up ridiculous yardage and touchdown numbers till Moss came along. Look at the receivers Ben Roethlisberger had during his career. Kurt Warner, when he took the Rams to the Super Bowl, Marshall Faulk, Isaac Bruce, Torrey Holt, want me to do you one better? When he took the Arizona Cardinals to the Super Bowl and lost to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Anquan Bolden, Larry Fitzgerald, shall I continue? Weapons are needed. Not building a team properly is incompetence. You guys, what kind of sick, twisted world are we living in where we're complaining about a guy producing with when he's surrounded by weapons and protection, and I'd rather see him with worse protection and worse weapons. I'd rather see him produce with that. In what world? Football's funner when you got these kind of guys on the field. You guys are lying to yourselves to fit narratives and agendas. It's ridiculous. Tua Tagovailoa has arrived. The light has gone on. Deal with it. What are you going to talk about this offseason on all your little panels and spaces for 4 to 6 hours a day when Tua's the guy heading into next year? And it's signed, sealed, and delivered. Now what's the conversation going to be? What are you going to talk about, his contract status for 6 months until the season starts? Oh, he only produced for 1 year. Should we pay him? That's what they'll talk about for 6 hours a day. It's ridiculous. The kid's arrived. The light's gone on. Did you not? What's the one thing you keep seeing me point out when I'm watching live? When I'm watching all 22 with Martin and Ball Game, if you're paying attention, the kid's head is on a swivel consistently. The game is slowing down. He's reading all 3 levels consistently. This was a big thing to the next step in his development. And getting a guy like Tyreek helps that development. It speeds up the progression and the development and the growth of a player. Just like it did for all those quarterbacks I just named for all you guys. Jalen Hurts this year. The guy was hot boo-boo. A.J. Brown, look at right now. Jalen Hurts is playing out of his mind. And they've always had protection there, but it took getting A.J. Brown and whoop. Aaron Rodgers when he came out, Greg Jennings in his prime. Having these great veteran receivers is not a detriment to a player. It is as big of a positive as you can get. instead of stunting the growth, these help these players blossom. They learn things playing with these type of players. They grow in certain aspects of their game. So when these players eventually leave and the quarterback's left without them, that stuff is instilled in them, and they can pass it on to the next generation of receivers that comes through that under him, and they can keep growing and keep working and building together. It's a cycle. Am I the only one who's been watching the NFL for my whole life? This is how it works. Holy Jesus. All of you tried to call me in the chat. Go back. I want everyone to go back after the show to my preseason prediction show. The year the Buffalo Bills got Diggs. I called that. When everyone was saying, he's trash, he's done, he's garbage, I said, this man got Stephon Diggs, one of the best route runners in the NFL, with one of the widest catch rates in the NFL. Watch the leap he's going to take. And boom, the kids are, I had people I'll never forget it. I had people in the comments saying, Reason's a Bills fan. Reason should get a Bills jersey. All because I called what we're seeing with Tua with Allen. Because this is a real thing. And on the flip side, if the player doesn't grow and improve with that talent put around them, you know they're not it. It's a two-sided coin. You either get your answer or you get your answer either way. It's a yes or a no. If you're French, it's a oui or a no. All right? I'm just saying. It was a calculated, strategic move. They went and they loaded it up for Tua to say, listen, this guy's either going to sink or swim. And swim? This man's frolicking, backstroking. He's going underwater and coming up and shooting water out of his mouth like he's a fountain. The guy's having a day. It's just another day at the beach for Tua Tagovailoa. All right? Ridiculous. And there you go. EM Baller. Oh, let's wait for this to pop up because he nailed it. Look at this. EM Baller. Look at it. Carr ain't even doing. Carr not that good even with Devontae Adams. Tua is that dude. Don't let Martin hear you say that. But perfect point. Dead on right there. Look at that. David Carr, Devontae Adams. This guy is getting lost in obscurity. Tyreek Hill out here being historic. Historic. And Waddle right behind him. Don't sleep on Waddle. Rome Gray, you kill me, brother. This guy, Rome kills me. Shout out to Rhino. Rhino says showing up, the homie, says, that's a $10 rant, but I gave you 20. Go Reason and TD was wrong again. Still love you, Pyro. Rome Gray says, I failed French, but I know them haters better come to Reason and say, je m'appelle dumbass for hating on Tua. I agree. Oh, man. Appreciate you, Rhino, for the donation, man, for the $20 dono. $10 rant, but I gave you 20. Go Reason and TD was wrong again. Still love you, Pyro. Hey, I don't know what to tell you. I just let the film, it came down to if you believed in his ceiling or if you didn't from what you saw on his film. And, you know, this is why I never was out on the kid. Because I was like, man, if he cleans, you know, these few things up, we got something here. And he's cleaning them up. And people still want to take away from him. All right? Like, I don't understand constantly taking away from this kid, man. Some of y'all must be miserable waking up in the morning and, you know, that's the first thing y'all think about doing. It's, I mean, do you, boo-boo. I don't know what to say, you know? But that's a lot of time wasted on hating, man. Real talk. And, you know, Tua, I mean, he's in, the man's in Patrick Mahomes. All right. First of all, Tua is the only quarterback in the NFL with a passer rating over 110. He's at 112.7. Let's just put that out there too. All right. But right now, Tua, I mean, the guy is in elite company with what he's doing right now. Him and Mahomes, I believe they're the only two quarterbacks this year that have I think it's two, three. Yeah, they have the only quarterbacks with multiple games of 350 plus passing yards and 3 touchdowns, Tua Tagovailoa and Patrick Mahomes this year. I mean, he's literally in it. You know what I mean? Oh, EM Baller, I cannot wait for your super chat to pop up. You know what? We're going to do it early because I'm hyped. I'm not even going to wait for the system to work on you. So, EM Baller said, but it's Lions trash D. Tyreek had to come back. Okay, this is why that's bull crap. If you actually go back and watch it, and I know you're not saying it, so don't worry, this isn't against you. That throw to Tyreek, bro, he put that, if you go back and watch that, he put that in a spot where only Tyreek was making a play on that. He threw that to a spot knowing Tyreek was going to get back to it, and boom, it was like a deep hook route. And he just put it right on, and I'm telling you, when you look at how he moved up in the pocket and moved around, that was impressive. That was impressive. I'm sorry, man. I like that throw he threw that, and I'll show that on the All-22 tomorrow. That man threw to a spot, and that was impressive, man. Like, phew. And did y'all see the pictures of Tua and Dan hugging after the game too? Gotta love it, man. You gotta love it, man. All right, let's get into this. Let's get into the rumors and innuendo and all that stuff. All right. Before I get out here and go trick-or-treating with the kids, let's start off with we'll start off with the trade talks, right? Because I'm gonna have a I'm gonna have a Patreon update tonight, I think. So here we go. It started off this morning when Tyreek Hill posted this on Twitter. It was a Miss My Bro, man. He tagged Kareem Hunt, and everyone got excited. Then, not too long after, basically, Kareem responded and said, "Miss you too, bro." And he played the song "Perfect Timing" by Lil Baby. And this sent everyone this morning, because everyone's just desperate for the Dolphins to make a move, I think. That just sent everyone into this whole, oh my God, Kareem Hunt, blah, 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 blah. He's coming here, et cetera, et cetera. And then later there was a rumor going around from a fake account. I'll show you guys the said rumor. And it was, per source, the Dolphins are in trade talks with the Browns surrounding Kareem Hunt and Jack Conklin. Miami is attempting to package players, including Mike Gesicki and Byron Jones, and picks headlined by their first-round pick in the 2023 draft. Now, first of all, Byron Jones is on the PUP list. Second of all, yeah, that account was bull crap. Now, Daddy Dean has a really good question here. It's relevant. He says, Reason, do you think the Browns are waiting after tonight's game to deal Hunt? No. They have Nick Chubb. They've been listening to offers for, more than a week now. If they get the right trade, offer, they would do it. Now, that report I just showed you is fake. I'm showing you guys to show you that's how that rumor built up about Kareem Hunt. In terms of Kareem Hunt, here's the issue I'm being told there is, because I know Najee Harris is out there too. Okay. You got to think about Chase Edmonds and Chase Edmonds' money. Are they going to add Kareem Hunt to this roster? And if you add Kareem Hunt to this roster, excuse me, that's admitting your failure in your signing. You guys saw when Gaskin performed like he did, that man got sent to the bench real quick for Chase Edmonds. I don't think they're ready to give up on Chase Edmonds. So would they make the trade for Kareem Hunt? I'm sure any team would for the right deal. I don't think they're ready to give up on Chase Edmonds. That's the sense I'm getting. All right. Shout out to the homie G Firm. He says Tua is first in QBR, first in passer rating, first in average yards per attempt, third in completion percentage, seventh in touchdowns, and he is third ranked PFF graded QB. Yup. He's getting it done, brother. And what's crazy is that reason do you think the Browns are... Yeah, no. I don't think Daddy Dean, it matters. But yeah, so G-Firm, I mean, Tua had the highest... We'll go over the grades here today, but Tua had the highest grade given out this year to a quarterback, too, today. So, Najee. Now, I know people are talking about Najee and the thing. Najee, from what I'm seeing, the Pittsburgh Steelers are kind of weary. The problem is, guys, because of how fresh Najee is, I think he'd cost more than Kareem Hunt. So if you're going to go running back, I would probably go Kareem. Plus, Kareem's a little bit more proven. Remember, Najee's averaging less than 4 yards per carry this year. Not doing overly well. So in terms of, all the Kareem Hunt stuff, I'd be very weary right now. Okay, there's gonna be a lot of out here. Tomorrow is the deadline. I'm gonna have a little bit more in depth tonight in my update on Patreon and here on the YouTube channel under the community tab for members only. So, and you guys will get that. All right. Now, continuing on, the other big one today was as follows. Peter King, in his Football Morning in America column, he said this: with the trade deadline Tuesday at 4 p.m. I see lots of talk and not as much action as the talk portends. This deadline will be disappointing, one top club official told me Saturday. I don't see the desperate buyers, and the sellers want way too much. And some of the teams that should be selling, at least right now, aren't. I've heard Brandon Cooks, they want at least a second-round pick for Brandon Cooks. So, yeah. Oh, wow. Shout out to Rhino for gifting 5 memberships for Finside the NFL to all of y'all. Appreciate you. Appreciate you, man. Denisha has now become a member, and she got Waddle doing the Waddle. All y'all getting gifted memberships by Rhino, man. Shout out to the homie Rhino. Everyone, give Rhino some props right there, man. So y'all are going to get that update tonight. Rhino's going to let y'all get access to that update under the community tab. It'll be up there late tonight, or probably around 11 o'clock while I'm chopping up the film. All right. So the biggest name for hire right now is Denver pass rusher Bradley Chubb, who could be that unique player who plays 18 games this year. Denver is on its bye week, and Chubb played his 8th game Sunday. If he's dealt to one of the 10 teams that had a bye already, we could see him become that rare 18-game regular season player. A team can rent Chubb due to hit free agency in March for $7.1 million for the last 10 weeks of the season. Here are a few thoughts on the teams with motives to deal. So, one of the league's most disappointing teams has been the Broncos. Despite waking up in the second half in London Sunday, have heard from teams on both Chubb and wide receiver Jerry Jeudy. George Patton, clearly the GM, would move Chubb due to be a free agent in March, having missed 24 games due to injury in the first 4 years, for a first-round pick, and he may get one. A well-plugged-in GM told me over the weekend the Jets and the Dolphins are interested, and interested enough to consider dealing a first-rounder for Chubb. But to make that deal for a significant price, Miami or New York or any team would have to have a deal done with Chubb beyond this year. Okay, so here's what's happening with this. Now, with Bradley Chubb, this is legitimate, by the way. Now, a lot of Jets reporters have come out and said the Jets are not in on him anymore, at least. And so, hey, it might not be a bidding war, but it always will be. Playoff teams will be looking to make a move. What you have to factor in, what surprises me when I read that is that we'd be willing to move our first, because you'd also have to extend him. Now, the issue with that is Ogba's money. Now, I know there was some chatter going around Twitter today that, okay, acquire Chubb, trade Ogba. I don't know if I'm... Here's the thing, again, like Edmonds, you all really think we're ready to give up? Not we, like as in me, you, and your sister's a fan, and talking about like the GM and the actual front office. Do you think that front office, after they gave him that extension, is willing to give up that quickly on Ogba? Not going to happen, all right? That's number one. Number two, all right? I don't know if they're going to add that money to the defense when they know they need help on the back end. Now, if they are going to go the San Fran zone heavy scheme eventually, and that requires you to heavily invest in your front seven, maybe that's what McDaniel has in mind. But again, there's going to have to be moving pieces if we're going to pay Chubb. Let's put it that way. Now, Roquan Smith is gone. He's now a Raven. That's the move. I would have circled back to that if you want my honest opinion. Bradley Chubb, I would take in a New York Minute. I would just be interested to see how they're going to work the money out. I know there is legitimate interest from the Dolphins, though, because the lack of a pass rush. It's seen that and he's not even getting home enough, but the guy who's really getting there is Jalen Phillips, and he's just not getting home enough right now. The guy has 32 pressures, which is seventh most amongst edges in the NFL right now. So, you want my honest opinion, guys? I'm taking Bradley Chubb over Kareem Hunt or Najee Harris. Our pass rush is non-existent. At least with Raheem Mostert, our run game has some kind of a lifeline, right? For what we do to work, we need a pass rush. From how we're built from the back end up, we need a pass rush. That's why we're not seeing the turnovers like we little see. And Brian Gonzalez, I'm 110% with you. 110% down for seeing Taylor Moton. I'm down for Moton. I'm with you. But I keep circling back. We know Grier is stingy with his draft picks, and I just don't see him admitting that they had failed with a couple of those guys, i.e. like Chase Edmonds and Ogba after they just paid him. So we'll see how it works out, but I'm just going to say, be cautious. Don't put all your eggs in the basket. And because of what EJ just said in the comment section, let me pull it up. This is another reason why I don't think they're going to be pressing for offensive line like we might have thought. Remember, if you're a Patreon or YouTube channel member and you saw the name I dropped about the right tackle that they inquired about a couple weeks ago before Brandon Shell started playing the way he has, that would make you think differently. But Brandon Shell, I think he's changed it. Shout out to Bruce for becoming a member. Appreciate you. I think he's changed that narrative. Brandon Shell is playing some good football right now, guys. Brandon Shell is playing some good football. And, I want to see what Robert Jones has at left guard. So, I don't think that's going to be because of him, guys. I think, linebacker, pass rusher, and because we're getting healthy at corner, I'd even put that below these two. I think pass rusher and linebacker are probably our two biggest needs right now. And then, hey, I don't think they're going to move off of them, but I would put a second guy to complement Mostert because Edmonds ain't getting it done. I would agree if someone was going to say that to me. And if you want to add another corner, I would agree with that. But I think pass rusher and linebacker are our biggest need right now. All right. Let's get into and recap because the PFF grades, y'all are going to want to see this. Let me tell you all that. Y'all are going to want to see these PFF grades. So let's recap. We'll go over the snap counts and we'll get into the PFF grades and then the next gen stats and such. All right. So If you look at the snap counts from yesterday, guys, obviously Liam Eichenberg, because of the injury, is what it is. Look at Gesicki and Smythe, pretty much dead even. They are dead even, 31 snaps apiece. Gesicki's starting to do more things and be more productive and eat into those snaps. Because remember, at the start of the season, Smythe was at like a 60-plus percentage in terms of the snap rate. Braylon Sanders, even after that fumble, saw 14 total snaps. Waddle actually outsnapped Tyreek Hill. Go see that one, eh? Raheem Moser, clearly, not even a question. Running back one, outsnapping Edmonds 44-16. Now, when we flip over to the defense and the snaps on defense, this is what we see. Look at Kadir Kahu. Kadir Kahu, number 2 in snaps behind only X. He was corner 2 yesterday. They bumped him up. He had 57 snaps, and there was only 60 total. Huge. Noah Benogany back down to 19. So I guess the coaches weren't that impressed with the interception as everyone else were. Crossan, he did outsnap Crossan, who's being massaged back into it, who only had 14 snaps. So he was your corner 3 yesterday, technically. You look at Wilkins and Seiler, 51 and 50 snaps. Great for them. It was the lowest snap count of the season for Melvin Ingram, who only saw 16 snaps yesterday. And shout out to Verone McKinley. Everyone knows how much I was a huge fan of this kid coming out. And that kid goes out there and absolutely plays his ass off. Had a touchdown saving tackle, and he had 48 snaps, 80% of the snaps. Verone McKinley stepping in with Brandon Jones out. Absolutely love it. Love it. The Oregon Duck secondary, baby. Who would have thunk, huh? Who would have thunk? That is honestly awesome. Love seeing Verone and Javon Holland get it done back there. Verone is a beast, man. Look at, I want y'all to think about this from the UDFA, just the secondary. The UDFA's Chris Grier has brought in and this staff, just in Kadir Kahu and Verone McKinley alone, and look at how much they're being relied on right now with the injuries we have. Like, give this man a round of applause. Nick Needham, though he's injured right now, what he's given us over the past couple of years, another UDFA fine. Absolutely fantastic job by Chris Grier and the scouting department. Reggie McKenzie, Marvin Allen, fantastic stuff, guys. Like, salute to that front office for doing that stuff, man. Unbelievable. They need to give them their flowers, man. All right. Let's get into the PFF grades. And I agree. Hey, let me bring this up. Where are you at? Let me bring this up. Okay. Give me a sec here. Chris, I'm bringing your comment up. What's good, CB83? Byron Jones should have been gone before the preseason. I agree with you, and so did they. They tried to move him, my friend. People keep wondering, why did we have so much cap heading into the season? Around $20 million worth of cap. That was J.C. Jackson's money. Boyer wanted Byron Jones out and J.C. Jackson in. Now, obviously, J.C. Jackson got hurt. Hindsight's 2020, and who knows if he would have got hurt in this situation. But the plan was Xavier Howard and J.C. Jackson, and Byron Jones was going to be moved. That is why people have to ask themselves, why did Byron Jones wait till March to get that surgery when the season ended in January? Why did he wait 2 months? And I've been telling all of y'all, there's more to the story with why he hasn't played yet. This man is looking out for number 1 right now. Number 1. Because he knows he's going this offseason, and wherever he goes, They're going to probably have to re-up him, restructure him, whatever the case. So he's going to want to be healthy. Remember, do y'all remember last year when Byron and X, remember when they had the little subliminal back and forths? Byron took his little pot shots about leadership, and X said what he said on that podcast. And remember, Byron Jones, he's a Flores guy. X is anything but. And I already told you, Boyer and Danny Crossman, the special teams and defensive coordinators, they did not like Flores. So they're on X's side. They are not on Byron's side. That's why I'm telling y'all, I would not expect Jerome Baker will not see the rest of his contract in Miami. Mark my words on that. And if he does, it's because they restructured and they saved a bunch of money. Be ready for that. Oh, and by the way, in case any of y'all didn't see yesterday, remember I reported to you guys last year that Will Fuller was contemplating retirement? Well, if you didn't see yesterday, Will Fuller retired. Just saying. People call me crazy. People call me crazy for saying that. Anyways, let's get into the PFF stats. All right. PFF. Let's get into this as we always do, because these are going to be beautiful. These are going to, even though, guys, I say it every week, this is not the gospel. Unless this stuff matches my eye test, you got to remember, the people who are grading, these are also football fans, and they're fans of teams, so you got to look out for subjectivity, right? And people haven't heard the story. I've done work for them, and back when I was doing work for them, they had you grade off broadcast footage, not off actual all 22. So, I don't know. Anyways, here are your offensive grades. Tua Tagovailoa with a 96.8 and a 96.1 passer rating. This is the highest grade a quarterback has been given this season thus far. I'm here for it, baby. Connor Williams at an 88.8. Tyreek Hill at an 85.5. Jalen Waddle at a 79.4. Hunter Long at a 78.5. Your bottom five guys, Braylon Sanders, Salvin Ahmed, Cedric Wilson, Chase Edmonds, and Robert Hunt. Now, when you look at passing and how Tua looked, this is the chart from yesterday. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. He had one missed opportunity, one incompletion beyond 20. But look at how he's spreading that ball around. If you look at it from beyond the line of scrimmage, unbelievable. Unbelievable. You look at Tua when he come down here, kept clean yesterday. He was 26 of 32 for an 81.3 completion percentage, 296 yards, 3 touchdowns, 9.3 yards per attempt, a 10.5 average depth of target. And look at his adjusted completion percentage, 93.3. This guy actually almost hit 95% in his adjusted completion percentage. Ridiculous. Under pressure, 3 of 4, 86 yards. He actually should have been perfect under pressure. His adjusted completion percentage is perfect. Unreal. Unreal from Tua Tagovailoa yesterday. Love it. Here for it. Unbelievable stuff. Unbelievable stuff. And Tua on the season, ridiculous when he's kept clean. On the season, just to give you guys the info here, on the season right now, Tua Tagovailoa, when he's kept clean, is 110 of 152 for a 72.8 completion percentage, 1,384 yards, a 9.2 yards per attempt, 11 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, 9.8 average depth of target, and his adjusted completion percentage is 81.1. Keep that man clean, baby, and the results will come. When you look at pass blocking, look at this, guys. 4 pressures last night. 2 from Teron Armstead and 1 from Alec Ingold and 1 from Smythe. So actually only 2 pressures from the offensive line. Last week, the offensive line allowed just 4. It's coming. You got to give ball game his flowers. He said week 6, week 7, it's going to start turning the corner. Here we go. Beautiful stuff. Defensively, guys, first of all, let's talk about Jalen Phillips. Jalen Phillips had 7 pressures yesterday. And Jalen Phillips right now, guys, he had 7 pressures against the Lions. He had 7 pressures last week against the Steelers. He has 32 pressures on the year. And only 7 edge players have more pressures than him right now. He also has 16 run stops, which is the 8th most amongst edge players right now. Unbelievable. Duke Riley was your top graded defender at an 83.1. Keon Crossan, number 2 at an 81. Zach Seiler, number 3 at a 78.7. Phillips, number 4 at a 71.9. Verone McKinley, number 5 at a 67.2. Your bottom 5, Raekwon at a 28.9. Christian Wilkins at a 29.7. John Jenkins at a 30.5, Javon Holland at a 31.7, and a Landon Roberts at a 39.6. When you look at the coverage matchups, Kadir Kahu, he was targeted 9 times, allowed 6 receptions for 52 yards. He had a drop against, and he allowed 3 first downs. Javon Holland, he was targeted 5 times, allowed 5 receptions for 53 yards and 4 first downs. Xavier Howard, he was targeted 5 times, allowed 3 receptions for 42 yards and a first down. Jerome Baker, targeted 5 times, allowed 5 receptions for 27 yards and a touchdown. They charged against him. Landon Roberts, targeted 3 times, allowed 3 receptions for 26 yards and a first down. Noah Benogany, he allowed 1 reception on 2 targets for 21 yards and a first down. He also had a drop against. Andrew Van Ginkel, targeted once, allowed the reception for 10 yards. Jalen Phillips, targeted once in coverage, allowed the reception for 8 yards. Melvin Ingram, targeted once, allowed the reception for 7 yards. Zach Seiler, targeted once, allowed the reception for 5 yards. And Duke Riley, targeted once, and he did not allow a reception. So, I mean, you look at a lot of this stuff, Like, it was clearly evident how short they were keeping it, against the Miami Dolphins yesterday. A lot of high percentage throws for him. Nothing really that was going to take Jared Goff out of his comfort zone, right? Nothing that was really going to take him out of his comfort zone. So, all right. That said, let's head over. We'll check out the passing charts and the next gen stats. Starting off with Jared Goff. This is how Next Gen had him distributed yesterday. 27 of 37 for 321 and a touchdown. No interceptions. And you see a lot of it was short, right? A lot of it was really short. Now, he had 2 completions. Well, if you want to give him the one at 19. He had 3 completions of 19 yards or more. Right? Technically 3 of 6 from there, but a lot of stuff kept in front of him, in front of the 10, in front of that third level, right? Kept in front of 10 yards. So even look at his touchdown pass, right? Nothing really to write home about. Nothing but a short game. You know what I mean? Nothing really to write home about. Tua Tagovailoa, though, oh boy. Talk about distributing the football. Whoo-wee! What a beautiful sight, huh? What a vast difference in passing charts. Tua was feeling it yesterday. He was in rhythm, and he was distributing the football at a high level. Rhino said he hears Tua can't throw deep balls. I heard the same thing too, brother. I heard he was a one-read quarterback. How's that working out for people? So you look at Tua and what he's doing, man, 29 36, 382, 3 touchdowns. That man was surgical yesterday. That man was downright surgical. Give him his flowers. Give him his props. All right? Brian heard that Tua has a new alarm. I don't know. Yeah, so did I. How's that working out for those same people, Oh, pain, Absolute pain for those people. I love it. I'm here for it. So, when we dive deeper into the next-gen stats, let's take a look at it here. The longest completed air distance yesterday was 42.2 yards by Tua. For the Dolphins, Jared had a 52.1 yard Toss completed. The fastest ball carrier for the Dolphins was Tyreek Hill at 20.58 miles per hour. Khalif Raymond reached 20.84 miles per hour for the Lions. Zach Seiler had the fastest sack for the Dolphins at 4.1 seconds. Malcolm Rodriguez had his in about 3.6. Again, the passing chart, you see a little discrepancy from what PFF showed you guys. But again, pretty flawless from the line of scrimmage beyond. Absolutely fantastic game from Tua Tagovailoa. Some out here are saying they feel it was his best game of his career. He was just slicing and dicing. Rushing, you see Raheem Mostert had a lot more of his success hitting that left edge than he did hitting the right edge. In terms of the interior, a lot more success hitting the right interior than he did. Edmonds, again, not much really to talk about. Jamal Williams, he had success off the left edge. And success, you look at him and Mostert, very similar right there, eh? How it worked out for those two guys in terms of the success they found in which rushing direction. Receiving-wise, look at this. The league average is 2.92 yards. Last year, we were dealing with Gesicki and Devontae Parker under a yard. Look at the separation. Tyreek, 3.72 yards. Waddle, 3.18 yards. Gesicki, 3.41 yards. Sherfield, 3.1 yards. Braylon Sanders, 3.69 yards. Wow. If you've been following me since we've been doing these recap shows, I mean, this number is so beautiful. Seeing this is, it's such a relief after what we've seen the last 2 years. Look at that, man. The league average is 292, and we're blowing it out of the water. Defensive pass rush. Now, the league average, in terms of average separation from the quarterback, is about 4.53 yards. Jalen Phillips was about 3. Every week we see Jalen Phillips right here. 3.41 yards. Ogba, 4.6. Wilkins, 4.96. Seiler, 4.97. And then you see Hutchinson, 5.79. So really, Jalen Phillips, the only one under league average yesterday, and by a country mile on top of that. Give Phillips his props. It's coming, man. It's coming, I'm telling you. This kid is ridiculous. Robert Thompson says, when was the last time a wide receiver was NFL MVP? Cheetah for MVP. I agree. I ain't going to argue. You ain't going to hear an argument from me. Daddy Dean, yes, reason this is what you've talked about for 2 years. Prayers answered, my man. Thank God. He listens. God is real. He listens. All right. And some efficiency stats I wanted to show you guys. Guys, y'all ready? Look at, this is through weeks 1 to 8. All 4 quarters. Look at the efficiency. Look at where Tua is. In terms of EPA and completion percentage above expected, look at where Tua is right now. Look at where Tua is right now. Tua is absolutely, and what have I told y'all? Keep your big, strong-armed quarterbacks, your highlight reels. Give me high-level elite efficiency, high-level football IQ, and high-level accuracy, and I will beat that big arm almost 10 times out of 10. Look at the efficiency right now from Tua Tagovailoa. Brian Flores held this man back. You want to see it even better? I'll go even better. What do I keep telling all y'all? Tua is the best third down quarterback in the NFL. Best fourth quarter quarterback in the NFL. Check his efficiency in the third and fourth quarter. Look at this, man. Guys, I've narrowed this down. Now, this chart here, this is just quarters 3 and 4. This is quarters 3 and 4. Look at this. Look at this man in the fourth quarter in the second half right now. He is the most efficient quarterback in the NFL. More efficient than Patrick Mahomes in the second half. What are we talking about right now? Now the analytics aren't even backing all y'all haters up. I'm here for it, baby. Let's go. Let's go. Tua Tagovailoa is one of, if not the most efficient quarterback in the NFL right now, and he's certainly the most efficient quarterback in the second half. I ain't trying to hear no different because the analytics and the numbers are not backing you up if you say otherwise. I love it. Massive dub. Massive dub, baby. Watch Mr. Look at this guy. Watch Mr. says, pour one out for my boy Baker Mayfield with the $4.99 donation. Pour it out. All right, guys, if you didn't hear, too, Liam Eichenberg was confirmed to have an MCL sprain. They haven't ruled him out for the rest of the season, but Robert Jones is obviously, going to be filling in. So, all right, guys, I am going to get out of here. I got to go trick-or-treating with the little ones. We got to go get some candy. I hope all of you have a fantastic Monday night. Tomorrow night, I will be back with Martin Ball Game. We will break down every single dropback of Tua Tagovailoa from yesterday's game from an all-22 perspective. You're not going to want to miss this one. It's going to be a fun one. We're going to have a blast tomorrow. So be sure to tune in tomorrow night. You already know what time it is. I love each and every one of you, even the haters, because you make me just get better. So fins up all day, every day. Uno is the franchise QB, baby. Best quarterback we've had since Marino, and he's doing things Marino never did in the aqua and orange. Let's hope he can do one thing Marino never did, and that's bring a Super Bowl this way. Love all of y'all. See y'all tomorrow. Appreciate each and every one of y'all. Fins up, baby.